It's not coming up. I gotta increase the temperature. Try 330. There we go. Got it. Oh no. Hello, this is Talamir, and welcome to another repair video. It's gonna be hard to hold this up because it is kind of already apart. This is actually an iPhone 6S. It's an old creature, but it's got a problem with the screen. As you can see here, plug it in, doesn't show anything on display, but you'll notice that it actually does turn on. And if you flip the switch right there, I mean, there you go. The thing's on. It's just no display. So let's find out why. Now I'm just going to immediately take the screen out of this phone here. Pretty straightforward to do. And I have done a little bit of research on this already in advance. And from what I can tell, it looks like it's most likely some sort of short that's happened very close to the display chip. And that's kind of like the top right corner of the screen. I'm just trying to find it right now. There we go. Okay, so from what I've researched, it's something around here. There's a few caps. Unfortunately, they've got them all coated, but it's possible it could be this one, or one of these two. It's incredibly difficult to see what's going on there. Let's get my multimeter, put it in continuity mode. Let's see what we got going here. Continuity mode means that it beeps when the two creatures touch together. Let's find ourselves a ground point. Okay, we have found one. And let's see. Not ground. Okay. So it's not shorted. Was there another spot that they were talking about instead? It sure looks like that's the right spot. I could also check these connectors and just see if there's something wrong with these connectors. They look healthy. I'm gonna have to take out these gaskets. They're in the way. Gonna float it with some 99.9% isopropyl alcohol. A video I watched about this a very long time ago, that was from Rewa, and they showed that there was also a particular part around here, a capacitor, that would need to be replaced. The other video that I watched very recently showed a capacitor that would also need to be replaced, but it was, I think, in a slightly different location. Now let's poke around and just see what's going on here. I think I'd like to dry that up a little first. It's not working the best. It would be better if I used my heat gun, but I don't feel like turning that on just yet. Now, do I see anything that looks odd? It is so hard to figure out what's going on with this. I was really hoping that this would have been the simple fix. The thing is that the other possible issues that might be causing this would be these two caps that are right here, or the one that's, I think it was this one or this one. If one of those are shorted, then that would be the reason. These ones, from what I saw from the video I saw on YouTube, showed that these caps are all linked together in the sense that if one of them is shorted, the other ones will be shorted as well. So I'm checking this just in case. That might have turned out to be incorrect, but better to have checked than not, you know? Let's try again. It's proven true so far. If one's not shorted, the rest aren't shorted. Yeah. So that clears up that at least. That's frustrating. I was hoping it was going to be an easy fix. I'm just going to check these pins quickly. I don't see anything wrong here. It looks very solid and healthy. Well, back to the drawing board. I was really hoping that was going to be a simple fix. It was not. So I learned a bunch of things here, and I don't think I'm going to find anything, but I still want to double check this just in case. Right here, along here, this is the pins for the backlight. And the reason why I mention this is because I discovered just a few minutes ago that there is actually a display. There's just no backlight. So if you put it at just the right angle, you can see like the Apple logo when it's booting up and stuff like that. So I know that it is alive. The screen itself is okay. I want to go and take a look at, I think it was underneath diode mode. There we go, that's diode mode. And that one shows your voltages. I think it should be around 0.5 for each one of these pins. I have this unplugged, by the way. 0.5, maybe 0.6, something like that. That one right there is showing 0, which is interesting. It should show 0.6, I think. That one's showing 0.6. I also noticed with another video that I watched that there was a cap around here, or was it maybe an inductor or coil, whatever you want to call them, somewhere around here that wasn't happy looking. But I'm not seeing that to be the case. And that would be the case if somebody was getting into this phone and wasn't careful and maybe put an object, a sharp object underneath there and dug at this to get the connector up. But from a Rewa video that I saw, they showed that it was most likely something underneath this right here. So I need to get this plate up, and this very, very large plate up. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to desolder this with my heat gun. I don't know what temperature I'm supposed to set this to. I got to take the board out. I don't know why I'm turning my heat gun on already. Well, we got that creature off. Now, from what I was watching about this, for what needed to be done, is I needed to get rid of that thing off of the board there. There's a chip that I'm supposed to be looking for that is probably the culprit. And from what I can see, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but they pointed to this chip right here being the problem. I have no way to test if this chip is actually the issue, aside taking it off and then checking the pins underneath. So I'm going to try doing that and just see whether or not that is the case. I need to get rid of the backfill first though, which requires me to decrease the temperature. Now this is a backfill removal tool. I'm going to decrease the heat on my heat gun majorly. I don't want to melt stuff right now. I just want to heat up the glue enough that I can remove it. So I'm going to try like maybe 180 degrees Celsius. See how that works out. Not enough at all to go and melt solder, but it should be enough to remove that backfill. Not working out particularly well. 225. Let's see if that helps. I give up. I'm going to put this up to the proper temperature for solder. 350. Well, I put it 380 last time. I'll do 380 again. I'm just going to try removing the chip as is. Hopefully this does the trick. My nozzle is a bit big right now. That chip is so badly stuck in. There we go. Okay, that's off the board. Now I can get rid of some of that backfill. It's actually got a little bit of solder on the end. Can I get that off before this gets too cold? Yeah, that's just told me something. The solder is still melting at 280 degrees Celsius, and I had the board at 380 degrees Celsius. Whew. It's still melting. The solder is still melting. I need to get this out of the way because it's going to be bridged and I need it to be not bridged. How is it melting at 225 degrees Celsius? Okay, that should be fine. Let's take some diode readings. This is going to be a little bit on the hot side, so I don't know how well these diode readings are going to work. So I got a little reference paper that I drew up. I'm looking for 0.566 volts. My probes are huge though in comparison. I got little pieces of solder everywhere. This is what happens when you use way too high of a heat level. Look at them all. Look at all those. I might have ruined this board just because of using way too much heat. But I'm learning right now. This is something that I'm not used to working on. I am very much not used to working on iPhones on the circuit board level. So what this has told me is that 200, probably 280 would be enough, and that's what I'll use in the future. Like, what's this way over here? And like, look, what happened here? What is this? This is a cap, I think. Or is that a solder ball? Where did this solder ball come from? Like, did this fly out of this massive chip here? Because I'm seeing them all over the place. See this? There's another one down here. I'm gonna still try to fix this, but I think I've truly destroyed. I think I've truly destroyed this iPhone 6s's motherboard just because I used way too much heat. Okay, I think we're ready to do some tests. Negative on ground, and let's check our first one. We're looking for 0.5 thereabouts. I'm not getting anything. It's probably because either one, the board is way too hot, or two, I'm touching it to something else. Or it's possible the board's upside down. I'll try this one. That one is showing at 1.12 volts. And in theory, that would have been the last pin, which would have been at 0.357 volts. So, what does that mean? Try reversing them and try again. Because I did have them backwards. And the board is still hot. Yeah, I had them reversed. So now it's showing at 0.307 volts up there. From this one, yeah, I'm still showing 0.0000 volts. And I think that's because of this chip right here, the giant chip above. The next one should be open lead, which it is, and the next one open lead. That one's not open lead. This one is showing a short. Underneath that, it was supposed to be 0.3-ish, maybe 3.389. Yeah, it's around there. So that one's correct. Now I could try soldering it in, but I'm positive that I've destroyed this board. I was thinking of maybe taking the chip out and just seeing whether or not I have the capabilities now. I mean, like, what could possibly go wrong? I mean, it's already busted. The phone's not working. The phone's gonna go in the garbage if I can't get this to work. So what point is there in not at least trying, right? So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna remove this honking huge chip and we'll just have to see, right? Now they've got some sort of material that's on top of this chip. I gotta get that all off. Oh no. This is the important chip. This is the processor. Oh gosh. I don't know, guys. I think I've lost. I'm gonna try, because I mean, that's the name of the game right now. The whole point of what I'm doing right now is for the sake of learning. All that because I used 380 because I thought that was safe. I should have used 280. And even that might have been a bit high. Really used to working on game consoles when it comes to soldering, and this, yeah. That wasn't the case for this creature. Poor thing. Well, here goes nothing. Let's get it in view. Let's get that giant of a CPU. That's not that giant, but I guarantee there's going to be 1,000,000,001 solder balls underneath there, and this is not going to be fun. You have to increase the temperature to 280. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting one of the prongs underneath and I'm just lightly lifting. I've seen other techs do this, and this is the method that I've always seen used, is just to get hooked underneath one spot. You're just prepping to lift. It's not coming up. I gotta increase the temperature. Try 330. There we go. Got it. Oh no. Oh. You see them all? Look at all those solder balls. They're everywhere. And then underneath there is another chip. It's something that I've never done before, and this is actually kind of just fun exploring, but it's still sad that I've messed it up this badly. I am curious to see what's underneath the very final bit of this though, so let's keep digging. I think part of the issue is also that underneath here is fill. It's kind of hard to get past it. You can see the solder balls melting right now. This is only 330 degrees Celsius, and those solder balls are liquid. If you look right here, I can just poke at them. It's coming. I'm not trying to save anything right now. I'm just trying to get the board up. There we go. You see what I just did there? Look at that. I just took a whole bunch of, I don't know what these are, off of there. And they're their own thing underneath too. You see that? All along there. I don't see anything special that's on this level. Everything looks kind of normal. You can see there's definitely fill. So I think, man, that is so cool looking. That chip is just really nifty. Let's see what the underneath looks like. Yeah. It's possible, I doubt it, but it's possible that I could have saved this chip here. The phone is only worth, I think, around $60 or $70 in Canadian right now in 2026. You could only sell it for 60 or 70. It would have been an easy $60 or $70, so I would have liked to have fixed it if I had just used the proper temperature. But you can hear I'm not actually that gutted over it because, I mean, it's not the worst thing that could happen. I think this is actually ground level. This right here. Yeah, so I just took the caps off because they were glued to the side of, just because of fill. But yeah, that's what happened. This hurts me. All I needed to do was just replace this. But the thing is also, I mean, it may not even been the fact that there were solder balls that had spread out across the board. That may not have been the only problem. From what I had read, it's also a possibility that shorts can happen on the iPhone 6s just from fractures within. So that's also a possibility as well, and would explain that 0 volts that it was showing for the diode reading. Yeah, I'll shut you off. There you go. Yeah, you can see those solder balls up here. There's one, that little guy right there, still just hanging in there for dear life. Yes, there's still parts that I could take off of this, but there isn't really any interest that I have in repairing iPhone 6s's anymore. They're just a really, oh look, as well. Clearly it's seen some moisture as well. I don't want to put this phone back together. I'm tossing this in the garbage. This was very fun. I learned some things. What better way to learn than on a circuit board or a phone that is old, that you're not worried about dying. It would be nice to fix, but not the biggest deal in the world if it dies, kind of thing. So, yeah, that's it. I'm tossing it. That's all there is to this video. I'm not doing a normal outro. You're not seeing my face. If you guys like the video, please do leave a like. If you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.